Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So I am seriously thinking about leaving the country, especially to move to Taiwan, where I have extended family members. I've had two and a half toxic workplaces in the past year and a half, and I find I just can't trust anybody anymore. At work, somebody asks a very innocent question, and immediately I wonder what's going on behind the scenes. And I let's talk about the toxicity I experienced first. At my very last job, I had differences with my colleagues. I worked very well with several of the clients, which made my boss think that he really needs me. But at the same time, I don't think that the tutoring center has suffered ever since I left. I can't understand the culture. Oh, we need you, we need you, we need you. You're fired. I can never understand how that culture operates. How badly did you need somebody that you could then fire if they didn't do what you needed them to do? I don't understand that culture at all. And so at my new workplace, when I hear people needing me, I for various things, I have a little bit of a trust issue. Do you really need me, or is this just a pseudo need, right? Okay, I had another employer back home in Seattle who could never keep a straight story about what was going. I was working at a small startup university, and plans kept changing week after week after week, and it seemed like I was shooting a moving target, and so I have a hard time trusting what I'm hearing when something needs to be done. Is this going to change? I find myself spending more time confirming, emailing, and documenting things than actually working, and it really is killing me. And I think a lot of times people are concerned that I'm asking so many questions to confirm, and especially the email follow up emails. I and yesterday I was telling myself, "Are you kidding yourself? Or do you not trust this?" I really can't. I've lost all sense of trust and direction and knowing which way is up and all that. Uh, and And then I had another workplace which wasn't toxic for me, but I could sense that I was getting the better side of the favoritism over there. And It really hurt because because I knew what it was like to be on the other side of that equation. Not to mention, what if my boss discovered somebody new that becomes his new favorite, right? That was always a concern too. On top of the fact that I felt badly for my colleagues involved, and I try not to make use of all the favoritism I was getting there. Um, and and then on top of all of this, people don't see me as having my own desires for work life balance. I talked about this yesterday. I was living in my car in Seattle. You know, Seattle's not a very inexpensive place to live. Needless to say, I had a colleague who called me one morning saying that she had a major home repair kind of emergency, and asked me to teach a class I'm not even familiar with, which is fine. I'm pretty good with figuring stuff out. So I get there, I teach the class. It was only after I got out of that class, went back to my car, did I realize that did I just understand that correctly? We got a uh, this is in Bellevue, right? My colleague, she owns probably a house worth $1 million, and she's asking for help from somebody living out of their car. I mean, not that it was infeasible, or I really could help her that day, but did I just understand that dynamic correctly? It was one of those moments where everything just seemed a little bit odd if you thought about it, right? Don't get me wrong. I would help her that day. It was just the it was a societal sentiment that I had a problem with, and And then it occurred to me, what if it went the other way around? And what if I felt ill and I needed a place to crash? Could I call her and ask her, "Hey, could I stay in your spare bedroom? I don't feel right today." Right? I don't think that would go very well, right? I would say that should be a more reasonable request than me helping her with all that privilege that she has, right? She should be hiring somebody to watch the house while she goes to work, right? Not calling somebody who's less fortunate than her to fill in, right? I mean, that would certainly sound a lot more sensible, right? Uh, or maybe hire somebody to take care of whatever the problem is at home, right? All right, all right. Anyways, so I go to my new workplace, and every time somebody's asking me for help, they're giving me direction, they're asking me about my personal life. I can't trust anybody anymore. It feels like it feels like everybody's out to get me, and I know that's not true, but I've lost all sense of trust after what has gone on over the last 2 years, and that's why I want to leave the country and start fresh again. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.